how do you explain John 17:3?
Yes.
When I tell you how do you explain John 17:3?
Yes.
You have no answer to
So
it.
my response to that.
When Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, may peace of Allah be upon him.
Yes.
When he says the only true God is the Father and Jesus Christ whom you have sent, you just want to ignore all that.
Yes. No, I don't want to ignore that. So
But
rather,
you just want to ignore it. And
Are you going to
verse-
give me? Are you going to give me the time to explain? I think it's very fair that you give me the time to explain
Yes,
a
but
contradiction.
just-
So give me a minute. We can have a time discussion if you wish.
Okay.
Give me
ahead.
a minute. So, when the biblical corpus talks about God, it's referring to God in either two senses, either personally or nominally, so talking in terms of the essence. So when it says, for example, God is Ahad, God is one, we're picking out that there is one existence, one being of God. When we're saying there are three persons which possess this one divine essence and are perfectly one in the Father as the one being of God.
Okay.
Okay,
Before we
so-
continue,
so-
do you want me to
so-
question you while you're explaining? or
No,
just wait until
I'll
you finish?
wait and then ask me a question. So once we understand this, when we see that, for example, within John's epistles, we see that in He is true, He is the true God, that's talking about Jesus Christ. And in John 17:3, it says that Christ, the Father is the only true God. Then we get an account that there can be two persons that are the only true God, because the construction of the verse is not that the Father who is the only true God. It is rather outlining it in a sense that they are the ones that are God, recognized as God, and are one of the three persons within the Trinity.
See, the problem is, this sounds very similar to Hinduism. You know, when I speak to Hindus, they talk about Rama as the one true supreme being, and Shiva, Sita, Gita, all these are gods coming out of him. And then when you explain to them, do you believe in multiple gods? Because you also believe that the cat is a god. They worship
Some of them are
rats.
monotheists.
I'm talking about this. The similar philosophy, though, brother. It's paganism.
Okay, so like,
You've got to think about your
so
own
so
salvation.
so I gave you a perfect explanation
No,
of John
you didn't,
17:3,
because-
and then your response is, "Okay, this sounds like paganism."
It is.
Okay, it isn't.
This is paganism, my brother.
Paganism, by the way, the etymology of paganism comes out of this understanding of anything outside of Christendom. Paganism was just used as to identify a religion outside of Christianity. So if you actually take the root of the word when it was used, I could say anything outside of
Let's
Christendom
look
is
at the
pagan.
meaning of pagans.
Oh yeah, no, let's just go back to 1 John 5:20.
No, I'm not remove that because I
Okay.
want to give my view on that one.
Yeah.
Because I believe that you dug yourself in with 1 John 5. Is it 1 John 5? You dug yourself in there.
Okay, let's go
But
for it.
anyway,
Paganism, yes.
Paganism is a term used to refer to a diverse group of religious and spirit of traditions that emerge in Europe and beyond, particularly in the context of the rise of Christianity and Islam. It
Oh, so
encompasses
even the AI that you're reading from is saying
no,
that.
I'm not saying it's right.
Okay.
I'm not agreeing this.
So
I'm just
you're
reading
using a
what-
definition
No,
that
I-
says that Christianity isn't pagan. You're
Paganism
using an
is-
AI overview of what it means
Okay,
to be
let's look
pagan.
for other-
No,
okay,
hold
let's
on.
look
Do you
at
agree that
Oxford
the
University.
sufficient definition of the word paganism literally is apathetic in saying that Christianity and Islam is not pagan?
No, Christianity is.
But then you just
Islamism.
gave me a definition that said that it went against the
because I
rise
just read
of
the
Christianity and
first
Islam.
one.
Okay, and you took that as your gospel. That's great.
Okay. Where is a pagan? Where is a pagan Oxford dictionary? Those who follow the beliefs and religions of the countryside rather than the officially.
Yeah, but by the way, there's no
Okay, there are
strict.
so many different
Yeah,
things.
exactly. Paganism doesn't have a strict definition. It's rather just a movement of people outside of the mainstream faiths. That's why I think it's hilarious when Muslim apologists like to very clearly indicate that Christianity is paganism. Paganism is not traditionally defined as a model of believing in more than one God. It's more of a cultural movement of religions that go against Islam and Christianity.
So can I
That's
ask you
why
a
the
question?
overview that you
believe
gave.
that Jesus is God, yes?
Yes.
Where does it explicitly say in the Bible where Jesus says, "I'm God"?
Did it have to verbatimly say
Yes,
it? No, it does
because
not.
such a big thing.
No,
It's
so,
your belief.
So if we take it, for example, that we're using the Bible to firstly indicate something of the Christ, we're then going to have to accept the viability of the people that are writing their eyewitness accounts. So it's an one sec.
Since you used the
I
word
allowed
eyewitness
you.
account.
I allowed
But
you.
you-
I allowed you
you're
to
giving me
speak.
false
I
information.
allowed you to speak. No,
Yes,
you
but
asked
you're
me.
giving me a
You
witness
gave me.
account.
No.
There is no witness
no,
account.
One sec.
It was written what,
You,
80 years
you gave
after?
me an internal critique, simply stipulating, assuming that the Bible is a credible source
It's not.
on the Christ. No, but you're asking me an internal critique. You're saying, given this area of resources that say things of the Christ, where does it say within his speech that he is God? Now, if we commit an internal critique in assuming that firstly the Bible is a reputable source,
It's not.
okay, but it's an internal critique. You're assuming. That's why you're asking me, why does the Bible say this? The reason why you're asking me this question is because you believe the Bible does not have a Christological view that Christ is God, even though it very clearly does.
It doesn't.
So I can give
Show me.
you implied verses. For example, John 5:19, where it says that everything that the Father does, the Son does likewise. Now, if the Son does every action that the Father does, and the Father is described as God, every action that only the divine
But
person
this-
can do,
but-
Christ can also do, which
But
means
that's
he's God.
incorrect though, because in Garden of Gethsemane,
Yeah.
when Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, before his
Can you
supposed-
firstly agree that that passage I gave you indicates that he's God?
He's-
You can
no,
say that
it-
contradicts.
It doesn't say that.
So,
I don't know.
John
how you
5:19.
No, my brother, it doesn't say
John
that
5:19.
he's God. My brother, I don't know
John
what you're
5:19.
reading. I'm reading the same thing.
John
I'm reading as Son
5:19.
of God, who is. Look,
John 5:19.
let's go back to John 5. Where is it?
John 5:19. Oh,
Okay.
1 John 5:20. Do you want to read the full passage out for the lovely people on the camera, or do you want me to read it?
No, I will say.
Okay, you read it.
Listen, we also know, I'm just reading the New International Version, there are others as well. Straight away, we know also that the Son of God has come. Son of God has come automatically means
Read the
that
full
the
thing.
Son wasn't here. And that
Yeah,
means
he's
two
descended.
gods.
No, he has
Yeah.
descended.
The Son, it, says
Yeah.
that, it doesn't say God has descended, it says Son has
But
descended.
if I am begotten, that means
and
of course,
has
I'm in
given
the image.
us understanding so that we may know him who is true. So so Jesus Christ was sent down,
Keep on reading it. Finish reading it.
okay, and we are in him who is true by being in his Son Jesus Christ. I don't think a Muslim will disagree with it that Allah
Read
subhanahu
the
wa-
last part, please.
Yes, but he's talking about he is a true God, eternal life. That does not mean Jesus.
The
That
nearest,
means-
the
that
nearest,
means that
okay, the
the
entire
God.
passage, the entire passage.
Yes, but does not mean that
Okay,
Jesus.
what
that
you
means the
what you
God.
have done is intentionally dishonest. You've broken up the verse, selectively not reading the parts that
Yeah,
talk
but
about
that's-
Christ.
I'm not doing
Then,
that.
when it has a full stop, because the nearest vocative, the nearest referent is Christ. When it says
Okay.
he, it's talking about
No,
Jesus
no.
Christ.
I will start again.
Can I-
I think
Yeah.
he's leading the people astray and he's lying.
Do you want to have a time discussion, by the way?
No.
Okay.
No. I just want to say this. I'm going to read this again, and he's basically accused me. You've accused me of twisting whatever. I'm going to read
Yeah.
it again. We know also that the Son of God has come down, has given us understanding, so that we know him who is true. Who is true? So that we know him who is true. And we are in him who is true by being in his Son, Jesus Christ. Muslims have no disagreement with that because we all believe that the Spirit of Allah God present in all of us.
Is he the Son of God, though?
No, he's not the Son of God.
Okay, so you disagree with
No,
that
no,
passage.
of course I do. Because Son of God in Hebrew does not mean literal son, my brother. Please. Son is just a term of respect. Meaning,
So
what?
in any case,
It's a son of- it's
in
a
any
term
case,
of
in the,
respect.
so what is the Hebrew word for son then?
I don't know Hebrew word.
Okay, so you don't know the Hebrew word that concords at just an
No, I don't
endearment.
know.
So no, what you're doing is confusing two polemical
I don't
arguments.
know the Hebrew
listen,
word.
listen. You,
What's the Hebrew word?
Hashim, let's have a discussion, Habibi. Oh, you defer back to Hashim. I want to have a discussion with him.
He's gay. You want to debate us?
No,
He's
Hashim,
gay. He's gay.
Hashim,
He can't debate us.
go back to your Muslim dawah voice.
Look at my channel. He runs for debates. He really debate. Don't
Hashim, let's have a discussion, Hashim. Hashim, your boy deferred me onto you. That is Muslim reference. Defend Ummah. Defend your deen. Defend the Ummah, my brother. Defend your deen. Like, very simply, what happened here is that we had a discussion on John 17:3 after he accused me at Stratford of being dishonest and a vile person. So he made a very clear distinction initially within the discussion. There's a difference between my person, who I am outside of the camera, and how I am on the camera in Stratford and in the corner, which is a fair observation of anyone. I might be a particularly horrible person off camera, but be a very nice person on camera, and true vice versa. So I said off camera, let's have a quiet discussion on why you have issues with Christianity and why you're not a Christian, or why you believe Islam is true, which is my challenge to anyone. And he brought up John 17:3, to which I brought up 1 John 5:20, which states that in he is true, he is the true God, and it is talking about our salvation, our soteriology, that through the Son we know the Father, and both the Father and Son are true, and that the Son is the true God. So the combination of things really indicate that John is trying to outline that, Hashim, come on, stop being a child, you accuse me of being one. Again, John's Christological view of Christ is very clear within the first chapters of his Gospel, that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and that no one has seen the Father but the Son. So whenever the Father intermediates, it's going to be through his Son. But when the Father is on earth in the Old Testament, he's identified as God, which means that even within the Old Testament, the Son is very clearly, firstly, the one that is spoken to the Old Testament prophets, and is also fully God according to any characterization of any angel or agent that is on earth that is described as God. So when John says in John 17:3 that Christ is the only true God, and that in 1 John 5:20 we hear that the only true God is the Son, very clearly it's just outlining that there's one being to which the Son and Holy Spirit are perfectly in the Father, to which then when it says that he's the only true God, it's identifying that they just simply possess the divine nature. So I don't know why Muslims or the Ummah booster up Muslim apologists who are dishonest. I think there are plenty of honest and very smarter Muslims than myself online, and they're not popular. So I don't know why they booster people like Hashim, who don't know anything, who couldn't speak with anyone, and who are just a poor debater. Selectively discussing with random people who don't know anything is not a good debater. As someone who's scared and wants to have celebrity status. Anyways, my friends, God bless you all.
Yeah, bless you and Bob.
Yeah.
So tell the family about your channels.
So recently, I've been getting away from the park and doing politics. So I'm doing discussions with the disciples of Christ with Turning Point UK. I'm a debater for Turning Point UK, and I'm engaging with other political parties that claim Christianity. So I am starting to film my own content, that be exclusive debates at Speaker's Corner of myself, or at. So I really need your support. It's Young Bob Studios. So yeah, I would appreciate the support. Just go subscribe there, send your love and support. I don't ask you for any money like the Central Dawah scams online. But yeah, God bless you.